Well, here we are again, back in the workshop. It's been a while since I posted a video. The last one I said I'd run out of ideas for tools. I have of course had time to mull over that, and I've come up with a couple of ideas, one of which is a variation on previous themes, and involves indexing the chuck on the lathe using the same principle that I use for the low profile rotary table and my simple spin indexer. We'll go back over now to my new mini workbench, which I've set up in place of the shaper, and I'll explain what is involved. When I fitted the electronic lead screw to my lathe, I had to take the spindle drive from the back end of the spindle, effectively blocking up the through hole, so I have no way of connecting a gear or what have you to the back end of the lathe. So I thought I'd concentrate my efforts on the other end where the chuck is, and came up with this idea. It's basically a ring which clamps onto the chuck with these radial holes drilled for grub screws. It's a it's a tight sliding fit on the chuck spindle back plate actually, and integral with that is a flange on the periphery with 36 holes at 10-degree spacings. That fits against an indexing plate which has holes at 0 degrees and then 11-degree intervals all the way round to give the vernier effect, and a dowel pin with a little grippy bit on the end goes in, so that if you want to go around, I don't know, 33 degrees shall we say, you take the dowel pin out of the 0, oops, hands in the way, dowel pin out of the 0, turn the dial and the chuck of course to 30 degrees on this scale, and then, what did I say, 33, and then go to hole number 3 on the indexing plate and rotate the chuck a further 3 degrees approximately until the pin slides neatly into the indexing hole, and voila, 33 degree rotation of the chuck. Simple enough. And there's a mock-up of it sat on a block which represents the headstock. And now I was going to mill this out of aluminium, and the thickness of this as designed is 17 millimeters. It was going to cost an arm and a leg to get a piece of aluminium that thick, sufficiently big to take this dimension, which is 165 millimeters, and for something which I probably will never use, it's just an exercise in tiddling about in the workshop really. I decided that perhaps it might be cheap to do it in steel. More of that later. As it happens, I redesigned it so that this part and the indexing flange, if you like, are two separate items screwed together, and this is a piece of 10mm thick material with suitably lengthened standoffs. I came to the conclusion that I could probably route this out on the Shapeco router, and to that end I'm going to use black perspex because it's a darn sight cheaper than either aluminium or steel, and it will at least demonstrate the principle. However, in the meantime, whilst contemplating the aluminium, I thought of getting some steel plate and hacking that out. So I ordered a piece of A4 size steel, 10mm thick. Here it is, and it weighs about 5 kilos. Now I've got no way of cutting this up any smaller, so mounting it in the lathe, cutting off the corners and making a damn great hole in the middle was really a non-starter. It's got to be too damn heavy. So I gave that a miss, and while having a think about the way I was going to do the routing on the plastic, I thought, well, I don't want to waste that bit of steel, so what can I use it for? And I came up with the idea for a surface table for the mill. It's got a series of alternating 6mm holes, drilled and reamed. That's going to take a blooming age. And 6mm threaded holes in, as you can see, a rectangular grid pattern. Rather than have it mounted with a single mount on the back of large size, I thought I'd make it slightly different and have these type of mountings, which are made from 20mm thick steel, milled to fit the T-slots snugly at the correct spacing, of course, for the mill, and that will not only locate it without having to tram it every time, but also give 4 points of stability. Could have been done with 3, I suppose, but 4's neater and easier. So that's what I'll be doing in the next project. And this is really just a taster to let you know what's coming up. I haven't started yet. I've got the material for the work table, but I haven't actually started cutting metal yet. So there we are, no machining in this episode, but I hope it's given you a bit of a taster for what's coming up. It's cold out here in the workshop. It's of course coming on for winter. Soon be the shortest day. Christmas won't be far behind, and then we're into the new year, so hopefully it'll warm up a bit then. And I hope it's encouraged you to watch the next episode. So if you have been, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.